shivers running through my spine.
Yeah.
I'll tell you all Akpaba. Akpaba means welcome. So Akpaba to you. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Cape Slave Dungeon. And this happens to be the third dungeon that the Europeans erected along the shores of Ghana. This is the third or the last castle built by the British in the year 1664. So this building that you see has been standing for 359 years. It took the British over 100 years for them to complete just the face of this castle. So you can imagine how long it took them to complete everything that you see today. And anytime I say the British built this castle, it seems a little dicey and debatable. Just because the actual labor used in building this castle were Africans. In that sense, we can say the Africans built this. And you may ask yourself the reasons why the Europeans even came to Africa in the first place. Some came as exploiters, some came to expand their territories, some came as missionaries to spread Christianity, some also came in search of free human labor. Everything started when the Spaniards got onto the New World. When they got onto the New World, gold, silver mines were open. They started to establish huge plantations. Some of the plantations were tobacco, coffee, cotton, sugarcane. Initially, they were using the natives of America known as Red Indians on those lands. But then due to tropical diseases, the natives were dying in numbers. So there was one Catholic priest named Bartolome de las Casas who suggested the use of Africans to the Europeans, telling the Europeans Africans are very strong. We can stand tropical diseases, we can work under the weather conditions. We even do the same work under similar climatic conditions here. So we will be the best candidates for that job. The unfortunate story of misery and pain, the forced exodus of Africans taken from their motherland to a place that was unknown to them. Ladies and gentlemen, the Europeans erected about 60 forts and castles in the whole of West Africa. Ghana alone, we had about 40 of them, 80%, all because of gold. They even gave our nation a name, and that is the Gold Coast. But then unfortunately, the demand for gold shifted to the demand for human labor when they started making profits from the human trade. So therefore, structures that were put up for the gold business were then converted into slave dungeons, where millions of Africans on the African continent were captured and they were made to occupy these dungeons. Each chamber that you see at the time, 200 men were here. So over here we had 1,000 African men who stayed down here every 3 months. In the dungeon, the source of lights and ventilation came from these three rooms out here. Kindly on the lights, on the lights. So wherever they capture you on the African continent, they have to bring you here. This was their transit quarters. So you stay here, you wait for your ship to arrive before they take you away to the New World. And over here, captives that were brought in here were not only from Ghana. They captured people as far as modern day Burkina Faso, Senegal, Mali, Nigeria, Niger, Benin, Gambia, Togo, Cote d'Ivoire. And these African men and women were made to walk barefooted wherever they captured them down to this place. Imagine walking all the way from Burkina Faso, Senegal, Benin, Nigeria, down here. Many of them died on their way coming here. Those who refused to come, they were beaten mercilessly. Some were tied to trees. Some were eaten by wild animals on their way coming. And in this castle, the venue for the buying and selling of slaves happens to be this hall. Where we are standing, this is the Palava Hall. This was the auction block. They will be waiting for the captives to arrive so that they examine them. They examine them by first checking their strength, muscles, pulse, teeth, to see how strong and young they are before they buy them. And over here, they were not buying humans with money. The wealth of Africans were lowered to the exchange of cheap commodities such as home, mirror, gunpowder, tobacco, sugar, canned food, whiskey, and toffees. Imagine a giant African man being exchanged for gunpowder. After they are done with this exchange, they send all of them to the courtyard for branding. Now, straight from the fire, for a man, they apply palm oil on your chest first. Then straight from the fire, they stamp it to your chest. Shh. For a woman, at your back, or this side of your hand, for easy identification. And from there, they separate the men from the women. Now, all men are moved into the male dungeons. All women are taken down to the female dungeons. You stay there maximum 3 months, minimum some days to a month depending the arrival of your ship before they take you away to the new world. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a brief history I have for you about this building and the transatlantic slave trade. Please keep your head low, keep your head low. Now can't be compared with what our ancestors. Let us be in here, give you the narrative, then we move out quickly. Please keep your head low. Yes. Watch your head. Keep your head low, keep your head low. The light. Yes.
So the ones that fall back, so.
The ones that walk back.
Up the light for me.
Oh.
Yes. Get some shot right here then.
Yeah, so it's not even full.